going on, everybody? It's your boy Nico here, and in today's video, I'm going to be doing a 3-month review on my 2024 Audi SQ5 Prestige. So everybody, if you have not been following the channel, or if you're new to the channel, this is my 2024 Audi SQ5 Prestige. I just picked this up at the end of March, early April, so it's been a little over 3 months, give or take. But so far, I'm absolutely loving the car. What I'm going to do before I go ahead and get into everything, I'm actually going to head out to a different spot, go ahead and set up the camera, and then we'll really get in depth and talk about things that I really like, maybe some things I don't like as much, and we'll go from there. And 2024 Audi SQ5 had about 11,000 miles when I picked it up. It currently has about 15,000 miles, so put a little bit of miles on it in the last 3 months. But at the end of the day, I mean, it is my daily driver. So everybody out the door, I think I was at around 56 out the door. I mean, it was practically brand new. It's 2 years old and only had 11,000 miles, one owner. So yeah, can't see it now obviously because it's the middle of the day, but it does have the light up Audi rings, which I'm still kind of iffy on, but was like a $1,000 option. So there's that. Currently is on H&R lowering springs, the sports springs specifically. Turned out pretty good. I might swap them out for some 034 dynamic springs to get a little bit lower. So far so good. I do have wheels on the way. Currently right now I've got an ECS Pro type exhaust, 034 Motorsport front res delete, high flow air filter, which really does nothing. It's more of a sound thing. It has no tune or anything yet. I might do that eventually. But for right now, it's mostly stock. It's sorry if I'm like sweating badly. It is freaking like 98 degrees. It's during this whole heat wave that we got going on right now. All right, but to the point, as far as cons go, there's not really a ton of cons that I have for this car. A lot of the cons I have are going to be personal cons, more or less, than the car itself. So if you guys, again, are new here, I had a 2018 340i BMW. That thing was making damn near 800 horsepower, big single turbo, whole 9 yards. So going from that to a stock 350 horsepower SUV, there are going to be some cons there, but that's more or less they're blowing off fireworks. But that's more or less a personal thing than it is, about the car itself. So I'm going to put that aside. Now, some of you might be wondering why I made the jump from, well, one, BMW in general to Audi, and then also just an SUV in general. You guys can see I'm a bigger dude. So getting in and out of that 340 was not the funnest thing, especially being slammed on the ground. Joking, obviously. But obviously I wanted to get something that, not a lot of people modify. Sure, there are people that have a lot of the B8, B8.5 chassis SQ5s, which are the supercharged 3.0s. A lot of people have the B9s, but not a lot of people have the B9.5s, which that's what this is, and not a lot of people are modifying them. So point of the process of getting this was that you don't see a lot of them being modified. You see everyone going with the X3 M40s, X3Ms, M3s, M4s, M340s, 4s, S5s. You get the idea. Now, by no means am I trying to make this thing the fastest SQ5 in the world. I mean, the most this thing will get will be like a stage 3 setup, which is just a bolt-on big turbo, flex fuel, off the shelf stuff, nothing too crazy like I did with the BMW. But even then, that would still be getting this car around 700 horsepower. So now my number one pro is going to be Quattro. Now I have luckily not had to test it out yet, or I shouldn't say luckily, but I haven't had the chance to actually fully test it out yet. Obviously got this in March, winter was already almost over. But Quattro does have a big advantage over xDrive. Argue with the wall. I'm somebody that had xDrive before. So that's a big plus already right there. Another plus I'm going to get into here in a second is its usability. I mean, yes, it is an SUV, but I mean, it has a lot of trunk space for being, a mid-size SUV, like a lot of trunk space. So you can fit a lot of stuff back there. I've already had to fit my whole exhaust, my stock exhaust back there when I got my ECS exhaust on. Another pro that I like is going to be the lighting at nighttime. I mean, you can see like a mile ahead with these headlights. They're so bright, they're perfect. Now, I understand that might offend some people because people always argue online about LED headlights. I get it, but I can see. So another pro that I like is that, there is a lot of modifications you can do to this car. Even though it's a B9.5, I'm still finding some things, but there's a lot of stuff already on the market from, the S4, S5, and the previous just kind of B9 before the facelift. A con that I'm going to point out for this particular model, and it's not really the car as a whole, it's just the way it was optioned from the original owner. So you have coil suspension, so your normal spring and shock. It doesn't have the airbag setup, which, give or take, depending on who you ask, that's a pro, that's a con. In my opinion, it's a con because if you've seen the ones that have the airbags, push of a button and the car drops like 2 inches. It's crazy. It does have electronic dampening control though, so when I'm in dynamic, comfort mode, etc., it does change the stiffness of it, but it doesn't actually change the ride height. So another pro, and this kind of goes along the reason why I got this instead of, you know, another popular option that you see a lot of people getting nowadays, is going to be it's a sleeper, to be honest with you. I added a front lip, added a rear spoiler. I'm getting new wheels soon, so eventually it won't be as much of a sleeper, but still, at the end of the day, people look at this and see an SUV. They don't see, you know, a 3.0 turbo monster underneath that can be easily tuned into 700 horsepower. Now, going back to when it was completely bone stock, I mean, for the most average person, it's perfect. It has a lot of power that is, you know, usable on the street, but nothing too crazy. I mean, 350 horsepower, a lot of people are horsepower deaf nowadays. Like that's actually a decent amount of horsepower for the street, at least. And that's coming from somebody that had an 800 horsepower 340 BMW. I'm telling you, like 350 horsepower is a lot for the street. You guys can see my rear roof spoiler, but like I said, overall, I mean, from a distance, it just looks like an Audi SUV, something a mom would take their kids to soccer practice in. Now, she is a little bit dirty on the inside. Again, this is my daily driver, so don't mind. But one thing that I really like about it is that it does have carbon fiber all throughout the entire interior. At nighttime, it does have very nice ambient lighting, which I personally love. Full digital cockpit, full touchscreen, like 10.9-inch touchscreen. And one update that the B9.5's got over the B9 is you get more options as far as the digital dash goes. You guys can see a little bit right there, the tachometer that has more of like the RS style, which I really do like. S logo door sills. Down here at nighttime, you'll see an S logo come out. Of course, the beautiful diamond stitched leather seats with the S logo on there. Now, the Prestiges normally come with ventilated seats, which don't have that diamond stitching. And that's one thing that I was looking for when I was getting a Prestige, but did not want the ventilated seats. Because if the ventilated seats had these diamond stitching, I would love the ventilated seats, but that's the reason an option for that. Now, taking a look in the back seat here, it has a decent amount of space. It's nothing too crazy, but I also do like to sit in the back seat. As you can see, like I said, I'm a bigger dude, so I mean, I tend to sit way far back. But for the average person, this would have actually a lot of legroom. You do get your own individual climate back here. You do get some USB ports and a cigarette bud port. And same thing back here. The diamond stitching follows all the way back, also with some S logos. Now, one thing that I found really weird about this car, I don't know how the original owner optioned it, but it did say black optics package on the car, but as you can see, there's chrome everywhere, which honestly I'm not complaining about because the wheels I'm getting will match it all perfectly. Now, one thing that gets a lot of people are these tips. Now, these are not real tips. They are fake quad tips. Now, this is, in my opinion, an upgrade compared to the B9 previous facelift because there was like no tips at all, but it still does use a turn down style exhaust. I don't know how well you guys can see under there, but yes, it still uses the turn down style. Now, this was optioned with the OLED taillights, which make a really cool animation once they are turned on. I'll put a little snippet of a video of what they do here on the screen. I don't have the key on me, it's actually in the car, but this does have the quick activated trunk, which is cool. You kick your feet underneath it and it will pop up for you. This did come option with the 20-inch wheels, which, I mean, style of the wheels not my favorite, that's why I'm swapping them out, but I do like the overall size. It's a big enough tire so you have enough sidewall so it's not an uncomfortable ride, but it's also not too small to where you have a huge gap. And I did fix that obviously with the lowering springs. Before, the bottom of the fender before was probably like up to here, so the lowering springs did help out a lot. And to be honest, I want to point out, it did not really change the ride quality at all. I thought it was going to be a negative effect. It really didn't change the ride quality as far as negatively. If anything, actually helped because it's lowering the center of gravity, so it does corner a lot better now too. Up front, you do have some 6-piston calipers, which I really do like. Fat calipers, and it does have the S logo on them. Again, car's a little bit dirty. I have not washed it in a couple weeks. I've been traveling, so get a little SQ5 logo in the front. I really do like this grill setup, and this did come option with the dynamic matrix lights, which make also another cool animation when they turned on. You can see down there the radars. It does have active cruise control. It also has a 360 camera solution and also has parking sensors all the way around the car. It does have a full panoramic sunroof, which I really do like as well. They're blowing off fireworks right now. It's July 3rd, so day before the 4th. It is a little bit dusty and dirty under here. Like I said, I really got to get in here in detail, but this is that 3.0 turbo engine. It is a hot V setup, so the turbo is right in the middle of the valley under the cover. Then you have each, 3 cylinders in each bank. Under there, I do have a high flow air filter, like I mentioned, but overall, this engine stock, it rocks, man. And like I was saying earlier, the power for being completely stock is completely great. I mean, I have, really no major complaints about it. And that's why I'm kind of waiting to tune it. Everyone's like, oh, why haven't you tuned it yet? Why haven't you tuned it yet? honestly, I'm happy with the power. The fact that a SUV can move as quick as it does stock blows my mind. All right, it's getting kind of hot. I'm gonna go ahead and tear down this tripod and head in the car with the AC and give you guys a little bit more of an interior view. So hopefully you guys can hear me still pretty well. I have the AC fully blasting because it's burning. But you do get a little bit of a welcome message configured to your key. Obviously, you have to set that up within the Audi app and whatnot. Now, kind of what I was saying before with the digital cluster, you do get a lot of options as far as optimizing that. So you have your standard, which this is what most people are used to. Let me go ahead and change that. This is what most people are actually used to seeing, which is like your standard, tachometer on the left, speed on the right. You do get a center screen, fuel level, change a bunch of things. You can also go over, look at your currently playing music, your phone calls, navigation from the car. You can also hit this view button here, which will then populate info on the left, like your boost gauge, your oil temp, and whatnot. Now, what I really like the S Performance look. It kind of gives that, RS look, the tachometer going like that, and the speed in the center. I also want to point out really quick that there is a heads-up display. Kind of hard to see, but you can see the little white there. That's heads-up display where you get your speed limit and your current speed. And over here, another really cool one is dynamic, which dynamic basically goes this way and that way. So tach on the left, speed on the right. So I'm gonna give it a little rev. See how it goes up like that? It's pretty cool. And then obviously same thing, you hit view, gives you more options to go through there. I'm gonna go ahead and go back to S Performance though. That's normally what I drive on. And then you do obviously have your, Apple, Android Auto, standard, wireless by the way. You also do get a wireless charging pad here, a little cubby here, which a lot of people haven't really figured out yet. I mean, this has been a thing with Audi for a while, but I just kind of put my phone there sometimes if it's not charging. The Quattro on the dash there. I also did add on the paddle shift extensions. I'm going to probably swap these out with completely different paddles in general, so get rid of the factory ones. One thing I really do like about Audi compared to BMW that I've learned is just listen to these clicks, man. Like, hopefully you guys can hear that pretty well, but I love the way the interiors just sound. All the buttons make that tactile click. I love it absolutely. Now, one big downside that I find annoying that I dealt with almost immediately is the auto start stop feature. So from my BMW, if you hit the auto start stop off, you hit it once, it stays off no matter what. Every time you turn off the car, turn it back on, it stays off. What I noticed about the Audi is that it does not stay off every time you turn it off and turn it back on, so you have to go down here and hit that button. So what I did, I went ahead and installed the delete device behind here. I did make a video on it. I'll link it somewhere in the corner right now. But this basically will now this, every time I turn it on and off, it stays off. Also, if you eventually decide to tune your engine, a lot of tuning softwares like IE do offer that through their software where it will just, stay off. But point is, from factory, that does not stay off, and I hate it so much. Now, another downside that I do want to point out as well while we're in this section is the parking situation with the parking sensors. So one thing I noticed is that it's helpful in a sense, but also not really so much, is that when you're coming up to a parking spot, it will automatically turn on the parking sensors and cameras, which does help in that situation. However, I noticed that almost every other time I come to a stoplight and there's a car in front of me, it thinks I'm trying to park in the middle of the road. So it just turns on the beep sound, the sensors, all that, which is kind of annoying. That could also be because I'm a little bit lower, so the sensors aren't kind of recalibrated, if you will. But still, it did do that before I even lowered the car. So now, obviously, on the way here, you guys saw some driving clips. I did put my microphones, one in the engine bay, one by the exhaust. Hopefully, it sounded pretty good. I'm trying this whole new microphone setup. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to buckle up, and we're just going to head out of here. So hot. It is 100 degrees. It is 100 degrees outside, bro. Oh, I am cooking. I'm here waiting at the stop sign. You guys can see that full panoramic sunroof, which this part of the sunroof does go all the way back and vent open if you just wanted to vent, which I find really helpful. Also, right here, you see those little black dots on the mirrors. It does have lane keep assist, as well as, crash detection, lane detection. So if there's a car next to you, it will flash orange so you know. It's crazy how quick this thing is stock, man. It surprises me every time. Hitting the laser wash really quick because this thing needs a bath.
Please enter the wash.
You're welcome.
When it is available.
Actually, I want to point out really quick too, while I'm in the laser wash, if you see, got the ambient lighting all the way around on the door cards as well, all through the back. So Really nice interior, to be honest with you. So while that laser wash is going, I'm just gonna go ahead and finish this up here. So overall, there's not a lot of notable cons for this car. Sure, there's a little gimmicky stuff, example like the whole parking sensor thing when I'm at a stoplight, that kind of situation. But overall, nothing too crazy. A lot of pros, and if you're looking for a car that is usable, like an SUV, sleeper-ish, like this car, and is a very easily tunable platform, B9 or B9.5 like I have, SQ5 might be the way to go for you. And even if you don't want to do anything involving tuning or modification, like I said, this car is really quick from the factory. I mean, this thing moves. Everybody, that's gonna be it for today's video. If you haven't yet, please make sure to follow me on my TikTok and my Instagram. That's where I post a lot of other similar content, just obviously in short form. And actually tonight, I'm going to head out, get some more content, film some edits, and they'll be on my TikTok and Instagram page. So I would go ahead and check those out. If you haven't yet, obviously, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on this video. Let me know if you have any questions, comments about the car, or just if you enjoyed the video. Hey everybody, I'll see you on the next video. Peace.